Morning, gamer! It is Gaming Morning Show. Thanks for being here on Tuesday, December 8th, 2020. It is time for 3 hours of hanging out with you, focusing on what's going on in the gaming world. I don't know, we got a lot of good stuff coming up this hour. I appreciate you being here with This Day in Gaming History. We got birthdays coming up. I am Ryan. Maybe some Gaming Morning Show, morning gaming news. Depends on how Sushan can possibly join us. We may be flying solo, at least for the first hour, just with me. And then, I don't know, we might have Look It's Maiko a little bit later. Hey, it's Cam! You are first. Thanks for being with us on Gaming Morning Show. Facebook Gaming, Twitch, YouTube, and at gamingmorningshow.tv. There's going to be some... I want validation. Who doesn't? Who doesn't? You are first. You are here, and I certainly appreciate it. We got a bunch of good stuff coming up today. Apple introducing a new line of AirPods. We'll tell you about that. George Lucas has a little bit of a clapback for Disney, which is interesting because I thought all of that was pretty solid. And if you were worried about the monoliths, apparently they're back. Well, at least another one has popped up. So I'll have that story coming up for you a little bit later. It is National Brownie Day. It is also Lard Day, which is interesting. I don't know how much stuff I've ever had, other than maybe like tortillas, that have ever had lard in it. But I also think like lard is kind of in that ambiguous realm with me. Like I don't exactly know what lard is. I mean, like conceptually I do, but I mean, is it actual like just fat? I mean, is that straight up what it is? I don't know. Have you heard about War Thunder? No, what is War Thunder? And you'll be happy to know that I text Sean yesterday because I have found myself just loving watching people play Escape from Tarkov. And I told him, I was like, hey, would you be interested in being my Escape from Tarkov buddy? Which we've talked about before. And the concern with Tarkov is it's going to be too much of a rabbit hole and we're never going to be able to get out from it. And I asked him that question, and he said, I'm willing to give it a shot. Seems like a dangerous rabbit hole, kind of what we knew. I might also check out Teardown on a GMS After Dark sometime. So if you haven't ever seen one, Sean will occasionally hop on and stream After Dark sometime later in the evening Pacific time, and he will play more of like single-player type playthroughs. And because of your recommendation yesterday for Teardown, kind of excited. He might play it. So stay tuned to Gaming Morning Show. You can follow us on Twitter at WatchGMS. That always gives you a when we're going live notification. And you can follow Sean Sports Doc Gaming on Twitter as well. I will throw those into the chat. I knew you were going to be excited. I told you you were going to be excited, and there you go. That's how you can follow us on Twitter. I had a pretty stressful day yesterday, and I don't know particularly why, but just one of those days where just uneasy all day. No real reason for it. We have a foster dog that we've had since June. Have not been able to find an adopted home for this puppy, and so took her out for a walk in the afternoon. But usually if I go walking with her during the daytime, I take the kids with me I have a 9 and 5 year old. They go with me, and this dog is so protective of our children, which is great. Love it, but it makes for some stress. So we are out there, and it's a German Shepherd. From the moment we go out there, just checking everything out. Yeah, it's an 8-year-old German Shepherd, Cam, named Nala, and looking for a forever home. She came in super, super neglected. We're not entirely sure if she was abused per se, but she definitely was left outside all the time. Concrete, maybe got fed, was used a lot for breeding. And so she came to us pretty neglected, and originally I'd only planned to have her for a couple of months, which is already a long enough foster, but we haven't been able to find an adopt a home. And I think that makes sense. A lot of people are looking for younger dogs. And so an 8-year-old German Shepherd who, comes from a neglected background, I mean, I'm sure she's bonded with us to a large degree. We're just not in the position to have a lot of the other responsibilities that come with having a puppy, or a dog in this case. So we haven't adopted her, but yeah, she's pretty legit. Where there's nothing there. I absolutely have always wanted a German Shepherd, so it's been super fun to have her in my house, and it was fun to take her for the walk. I think she and I like walking together. At least I do, because it's just not constant. What's that? And then like my kids have to walk shoulder length with her forward, or else it's just constant. Did you hear that? I think I smell something down the road. Right? So it's pretty intense. And I don't know if that was part of like the stress too, is because I was doing pretty good the rest of the day before that. And then all of a sudden, woo, kind of got dicey at there. Oh, there's lice non-dog owners where there's nothing there. Have you had a dog with lice? That sounds like a nightmare. Like, that sounds like a pretty intense deal, if that's the case. Yeah, I haven't had lice. I've been lucky enough with the 9 and 5-year-old to not have lice in the house yet either. I mean, that kind of is an accomplishment in and of itself. Other than that, it was fairly low-key. I didn't watch either of the football games other than the second quarter of the Bills-Niners. I really wanted to watch all of it. But again, with the stress of the day, and also being on the Pacific side, when there is that first game, they do this in the first week of the NFL season every single year, at least for like the last probably 5 to 7 years. They do a doubleheader on Monday night. And those games start roughly in the 4 o'clock hour afternoon time on the Pacific coast. And then you have normal Monday night football games starting about 5:20 on the West Coast. Well, that was just like the Ravens Steelers game, like from last Wednesday. It started like 3 something, 3:45, 4 something. Yeah, it's very frustrating. Well, I think this is just in the eye of the beholder kind of stuff too, right? I mean, our mother-in-law, who lives with Sean, like is scared of our German Shepherd dog, because big dog, and definitely has been aggressive toward other people that aren't my family, right? And so we haven't even figured out with the pandemic how to introduce people to the dog, because we haven't had people coming over. It was like the worst time for the idea of socialization with the puppy. So yeah, it can get kind of dicey. Today's topic of the day, in addition to being National Brownie Day, which is Cam gave us with some exclamation points, is a pretty good day already. But today is also Pretend to be a Time Traveler Day, which is kind of fun. Like, I feel like it invokes a little bit of that old nostalgic feel, back in the day when you were a kid and carefree, right? You could just kind of pretend that you're going somewhere, anywhere. You could be Marty McFly if you're going to go like straight up time traveler movie and go Back to the Future style and be like, hey, which, by the way, College Humor has been on my Facebook feed, Facebook watch feed for quite some time. This is, I think, the product of me spending time in that app a lot with the show being on there, because we're on Facebook Gaming, Twitch, and YouTube. And I click that button for the watch, and it kind of gets me down a rabbit hole. I've been on a lot of those lately. I was watching some streamers this weekend. One brought up Catherine O'Hara. It was Nintendo Nerds brought up Catherine O'Hara. And before I knew it, I'm in a Catherine O'Hara Wikipedia click, 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 click wormhole, right? And I couldn't get out. And found out that like she was the voice of Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. She was the voice of one of the porcupines from Over the Hedge, which was a pretty low-key good movie in the animated world. I think that came out like 15 years ago, but it was good. And I didn't know like her history prior to like Beetlejuice is where I first saw Catherine O'Hara. She plays the mom in that. She plays the mom in Penelope. So like Catherine O'Hara is all over the place. She was the Home Alone mom, right? And so that kind of happened, and it just went. Whew. I saw that November that it's National Toilet Day. Oh, around November that's National Toilet Day. Hey, never take your toilet for granted. Our toilets deserve their own day. Especially if you've ever had to go where there ain't a toilet. I'm super thankful for mine. Yeah, I like the days of the day, especially because they can get so obscure, right? I mean, you can have some pretty odd days of the day that you never thought you'd have probably in your life. So we're asking you, with the topic of the day, pretend to be a time traveler day. If you could go any time, because it's really you're time traveling, right? So you're going to a when. You're not necessarily going to a where. You can go to a where, but it kind of starts with the when, right? So to when would you go if you were doing time travel on Pretend to be a Time Traveler Day? And of course, with this, we get to ask you, what is your best time traveler movie, or kind of just work of fiction? If you're super into a book, what is your favorite book? That's always a good one too. So we'll ask you about that over the course of the morning. We'll have a abridged. Everyone knows about that. We'll have an abridged gaming morning show, morning gaming news coming up because. Oh, that's a bad guy. Oh no, he's behind me. Okay. All right. Well, I need health. Yeah. I don't know if I want to go up there with you because I have nothing to hurt people with. That's not cool. Alright, well, this was a busted game. Oh my gosh, no shields whatsoever. Okay, that guy took off. I need to get that Phoenix kit. Hug a Plumber Day? Hug a Plumber Day would be kind of fun. I mean, as long as you knew the plumber. Hey, plumbers do pretty awesome work, considering I am not handy in the least. All right, that was kind of a rough game to start with. I'm going to requeue, and we'll have a better game in the second half. I am Ryan. It's Facebook Gaming, Twitch, YouTube for Gaming Morning Show. You can find us at gamingmorningshow.tv. And Cam, I appreciate you being here too, because you're kind of a new viewer relative to some of the people that I knew prior to doing the show, since I don't know you from beforehand. We are looking to kind of build a Patreon because we want to be on multiple platforms. It's not smart when you're looking at it strictly from a how to build a stream discoverability standpoint based on some of the research that I've done. But because we want to be a promotional vehicle, we want to make sure that we are able to promote Facebook gaming streams, YouTube streams, right? In the long run, especially, that's something we want to do. And so because of that, monetizing wise, we're looking at a Patreon because we want to kind of be platform agnostic. And so with that said, for the month of December, we're asking viewers, especially those, like I said, you fit this criteria pretty solidly because you came along midway through. what would you like to see from a Patreon? And if you've never had a Patreon subscription before, if you never have looked into Patreon, it's a platform where you can pick a tier of subscriber, just kind of like a Twitch subscription, but there's different perks with different tiers. And one thing we want to offer those who have been with us already on Gaming Morning Show is kind of an early adopter tier, right? It might be $1 or $2 a month. And then from there, you're locked in with certain benefits that will then eventually be offered at a higher price and those kind of things. And so we want you to help us kind of build that. So what is it that you like from other Patrons that maybe you've seen elsewhere? And if you can give us some insight into that, we certainly would be appreciative for sure. So yeah, and it's hard because, a lot of the good ones that I've seen so far, Sean turned me on to the Kind of Funny world pretty early on in my relationship with him, getting to know kind of his stuff in the gaming world, like what he watched on Twitch and stuff. The Kind of Funny one has a lot of good stuff like before and after scene, and I like that idea. It's just that right now we can't offer anything there because we're not able to get on early on in the morning. So it's kind of nice to know what people would find valuable in those kind of world. That's a bad person. They ran away. Nope. That hurts. Ah. Well, that's unfortunate. Hopefully get a good recovery. Come help us! Yeah, so far away. You got this, big guy. I believe in you. Had a good stream this morning watching Copia, who is a, UK streamer, I'm pretty certain. And a lot of fun to watch early in the morning, especially because I get up so early, both to do the show and the day job. And it was really fun to watch Copia's show because you get a lot of people that you start to see. You probably have seen Kiki Low hop into our stream before. I just gave a shout out to Hopeful Opus for following us on Twitch because Hopeful did a nice stream over the weekend to raise money for the V Foundation, and that was super neat as well. And I bring all that up because Copia's stream started talking about old school wrestling and the Attitude Era of WWE. And then I remember WCW from my only real stint of being a pretty big fan into the world of wrestling. What did he just throw out? Oh, it was one of those hologram things. Yeah, he's not going to get to me in time. Hey, the good news is they tried. All right, thanks. It's 6:24. Gaming Morning Show continues. If you've never been here before, this is the idea of your favorite FM radio show trying to play games instead of music during the breaks. I am Ryan. Sean is not here this morning yet. We might have a guest host in our 7 or 8 o'clock Pacific time hours, 9:24 on the East Coast, and at this point, we usually do some of the headlines in the gaming world, and so I don't have that prepared because Sean is definitely our Gaming Morning Show, morning gaming news bureau chief, the person who takes care of all of those things. But what I can tell you is a couple of the headlines this morning that I did catch. First is from IGN. Cyberpunk 2077 PC and console updates should fix widespread bugs. This is from Joe Screbbles of IGN. There's just been reports apparently of some bugs so far, and according to a CD Projekt Red employee, Cyberpunk 2077 will be a different game with an upcoming console update. CD Projekt has also confirmed that the PC version's Day Zero patch includes some but not all of the launch day fixes. So that's one thing that's out there. Elsewhere, Call of Duty's Warzone Rebirth Island map was teased in a cinematic trailer. If you've been on the show before, we do play quite a bit of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War on the show, and they had a cinematic trailer that came out. I want to say it was yesterday. It might have been the day before, but they started to build a new storyline. They had a new operator named Stitch, has a grudge against another, Adler, and so they kind of went through a very typical building a timeline visually, right? And so the string from one guy to the next guy, and having, you know, notes and little Easter eggs kind of surrounding what's coming up next in the first season of Black Ops Cold War. And there was an island named Rebirth Island, which is this Nova 6 production location. Nova 6 is some sort of like gas or something like that. So it is supposed to be a map that we'll be able to play. There was a section for classified Warzone experience with several words blacked out during the roadmap for Black Ops Cold War Season 1. So look for that. That was from, should give credit where credit is due, that was from Polygon, posted 19 hours ago from Austin Goslin. So we're kind of building our Gaming Morning Show morning gaming news on the fly here. This is from Games Radar. Jordan Gerblick reporting Spyro. Remember Spyro? Spyro 4 seemingly teased in Crash Bandicoot 4 art book. The first official Spyro 4 teaser has seemingly been found in the art book for Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time. The teeny tiny reference to the future of Spyro the Dragon was spotted by Spyro Universe on Twitter, with pictures from the art book courtesy of Crashy News. Jordan goes on to write, in the images you can see Spyro just hanging out underneath some flying cars and concept art from Crash Bandicoot. Now that alone could be nothing more than an Easter egg, but a quote from Crash 4 concept artist Brun Crows seemingly confirms that it's actually a subtle nod to Spyro 4. After describing the scene from the concept art in detail, Crows notes there's quote-unquote a little hint at Spyro. That's from Spyro Universe. I'm going to go ahead and click on this tweet and send it out via our Twitter. You can follow us at WatchGMS on Twitter, and I'm Hefty Goof on that platform as well. It is 6:28 on Gaming Morning Show. We're asking you, it's pretend to be a time traveler day. We like our days of the day on Gaming Morning Show. And so because of that, we're asking you, if you could go to any when, right? It's not about where you're going, but a when would you go to? And, you know, I don't know if I have a good answer for that. I mean, the only thing I can think of, you know, offhand, outside of like going back, you know, and being able to like say something to someone because it was before, you know, they unexpectedly died, which I've been fortunate in my life, haven't had a lot of unexpected death, which I'm thankful for. Let me go ahead and finish tweeting this out. Yeah, here we go. It's right here. This was the first official hint for Spyro 4. GMS Morning Gaming News. So I've kind of been fortunate in that respect. Of course, I could go to the whens of the Denver Broncos drafting John Elway and telling them, listen, if you don't find this quarterback, this franchise quarterback, some help defensively, you're never going to win any of the 3 Super Bowls you make in the 80s. Because I would have loved nothing more than to have had a trophy from any of those first 3 Super Bowls, because of many reasons, one of which was the Broncos started 0-4 because they also lost to the Cowboys in 77 Super Bowl 12. And that sucked to start 0-4, because at the time when I was about 10 years old and you start to have a lot of friends who have similar interests to you, and in this case it was sports, they would always give me crap about their teams being better than the Broncos, and the Broncos, Vikings, and Bills all being 0-4 in Super Bowls. Luckily, by the time I was 13, Denver was the first of that trio to win a Super Bowl. But had they won one of those 80 Super Bowls, I would have had a championship to begin with, kind of entering those formidable years, and would have had something to kind of fight back with. But secondly, the Broncos felt like they became cursed in the orange uniforms. They wore orange in Super Bowl 24 against the Niners, lost 55-10, which is still the worst margin of loss in Super Bowl history. And then when the Broncos lost the Seahawks in Super Bowl 48, 43-8, which was one of the top margins of loss as well, they were wearing orange. And so 2 years later, when they made Super Bowl 50 and they played the Panthers, the Broncos had the right to wear the orange unis, and they elected to wear white. They feel like the orange uniforms are cursed because they had lost so many of their Super Bowls wearing the orange. I think the Broncos also lost Super Bowl 12 in orange. The only one of those first 4 losses that they didn't wear orange in, I believe, was the Giants' loss in Super Bowl 22. So, anyway, back to pretend to be a time traveler day. This comes from nationaldaycalendar.com. This time-traveling observance began in 2007. Act like a time traveler. Choose your time period and decide whether you are traveling to the past or the future. Be overly shocked when someone says, "I'd kill for a double mocha latte right now," or "This car is the bomb." Misuse technology. When someone offers you earbuds to listen to a new song, sniff them as if they were to smell good. That actually could kind of be fun. Or you intentionally go back to a place and you're like, "Hey, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here." That could actually be kind of super fun. Like, intentionally doing it. Because I'm sure there's going to be things that you run into that you actually genuinely don't know how to use, especially if you're going to the future. Although, if you went super old time back, that could be a problem too. I mean, you might have not a clue what certain things do. That's kind of nuts to think about. I'm going to go here. This is probably a bad choice because there's going to be people around me. But, yep. Okay, there's someone right by me. Alright, whatever. Oh, jeez. Those are bad people. Didn't get that weapon. Ah. I missed too many of those shots. I couldn't get a shield. Ran it straight to a team. That's really unfortunate. All right, well, it gives me a chance to give you news of the monolith. So this continues, right? The monolith has been appearing in various places. We had a monolith showing up in Utah first. I genuinely think that was the first monolith that we had found since we started tracking this on the show. There was some state park in Utah where a monolith just miraculously appeared. Okay, kind of crazy. Then in Romania, a monolith appeared and disappeared nearly as quickly as it showed up. The Utah one allegedly got pulled out by people. There's a photographer from the New York Times that was out taking photos, and one of his colleagues took some pretty blurry phone pictures of the Utah monolith being removed. Now, according to KOB TV, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, another monolith has been spotted. This time it's in Albuquerque. The mayor of Albuquerque has actually tweeted out a picture, which I'm going to share with you in the chat. So this is right to the tweet with all the reference data tagged to it from Mayor Tom Keller. The photo of the monolith from Monday morning, which appears to be near Pan American Freeway. So if you've, again, kind of followed the timeline, apparently there was even one in California. But apparently this is actually something that is being claimed to be done by a Santa Fe-based art collective. The most famous artist has been taking credit for the monoliths and have even been putting them up for sale on their website. There's also been an Instagram, and they were offering Joe Rogan apparently an exclusive around the story behind the monoliths. I at least can buy this, right? Because the monoliths, it would make sense that they are being put there by humans. It's just that it would super be fun to hear that the monoliths are not being put there, like, by a perfectly reasonable explanation. I mean, that would be what would be fun. It'd also be super scary. And we would need to have Will Smith show up to help us. Yeah, so he's split to my left. But I think it, makes sense. It also, we were joking that it was Banksy, right? Who's the super secretive artist, the mysterious artist who keeps doing some paint work in a variety of places. Yes, purple shield. Okay, that's him above me. But yeah, I'm kind of also sad that it's probably a perfectly reasonable explanation, right? That's always the thing, right? I'm sure there's a perfectly reasonable explanation for this. No one really wants a perfectly reasonable explanation, right? And all of the ammo to go with the weapons. I might switch to an energy. I got a med kit, so I'm good there. He didn't seem too interested in it.
I bet there's some good loot over there. Thieves' intuition.
So yeah, I'm kind of disappointed too about that, but
Helmet here. Level 2.
yes. Yes, look at all this good stuff. Alright, yeah. I don't know if I want that. Yeah, I think I want the alternator instead.
New kill leader. Interesting.
I just really like the alternator.
Gunbolt here. Level 2.
Plus it has a barrel stabilizer. It's not the worst setup in the world.
There's safety in numbers in them. Guns right in position. Optics here. Sniper.
Okay, so our whole team. Is he way over there still? Oh, he is. That's unfortunate.
I bet there's some good loot over there.
I'm gonna go drop my stick over there. Yeah, we could eventually go get our teammate. We could take that trident over, but I mean, he didn't necessarily pay attention to our drop. We gave him every reason to follow us. I'm gonna switch to that now. Okay, so always shield batteries every chance I get. And if there's a volt, I will totally switch to that. There's not. So just take more ammo and a throwable. Anything I don't need?
Extended energy mag here.
Oh, that Pathfinder's still alive. Pretty impressed. Yeah, if you've never stopped by the stream before, so we are usually at least a two-person team for the first hour. We might have a guest host stop by coming up in the final hour, or sorry, the second hour of the show. We're on for 3 hours in the morning. My name is Ryan, and I have been a broadcaster just in the sports world for about 20 years. And I used to host morning FM, like music shows and those kind of things. You know, I used to be a rock DJ. I used to be a news gatherer. I've done that before. So a whole bunch of different kind of roles in the broadcast world. And really like the idea of bringing, you know, that FM morning radio feel where there's a little bit more talk and less music to the streaming world. And so we do a lot of interviews. We haven't had any in a couple of weeks because things have been kind of busy in the timeline, and it takes a little effort to book people for sure. But we'll have more in the coming weeks for sure. We're going to stream. I think the plan right now is we're going to stream every single day, but Christmas Day and New Year's Day. So we do have some more shows ahead of you, and with that, we'll likely be able to bring some more people on, even late into the year. I'm going to have a couple of weeks off from the day job coming up a little bit later as well, so that'll help. Morning, Hofbrew. Thanks for being here with us on Gaming Morning Show. As I mentioned, too, you're one of the early adopters of the program. But we've been talking about trying to find ways to use our Patreon better. And so if there's things that you would like to see us do and offer in a Patreon, which is just our way of... I hear footsteps. Our way of having a subscription-based thing that you can support, but that stays pretty platform agnostic. So we can be on Facebook Gaming, we can be on Twitch, etc. But what would you find value in? And I know for sure you've been looking into like the idea of us having a podcast in addition to being audio only, like you can watch us in too, which is an option. So I appreciate that feedback for sure.
Shield battery here.
There's just nothing I need. Oh, he took it. No, I did. I thought this guy said that he saw someone. I don't believe him. That guy's using his drone. We got our birthdays and this day in gaming history coming up next. So if you've never been on the show before, 6 o'clock hour toward the very end, we do celebrity birthdays. We'll let you know who's celebrating a birthday today. And we wish those in your circle the happiest of birthdays. So if you have anybody that you want us to wish a happy birthday to, let us know in the chat, and we will do that for sure. But yeah, kind of Sean's history is Sean's a doctor. He has about 4,000 initials or letters behind his name. He is a musician, played in a collegiate marching band, has performed on national TV. He can repair anything. He is basically our hashtag expert, and then you can put any other word in front of expert. And that's what he is.
We have a replicator go.
Just an overall impressive person.
Anyone up for some shopping?
I wonder if that Pathy's going to use that find where the ring goes thing. Alright, I'm going to switch to this, which means I need an extended mag for it. Perfect.
Don't mind if I do. Remember who hooked you up. I've got your back.
I don't hear anybody. I like how, if you didn't see any of the first couple of games we played, just got bombarded at the very beginning. And now we're playing two very quiet games. Alright, our man's going up there. Okay, I do have 2 times on both of these. Oh.
Enemy there.
Let's see where he goes. Oh, he does fall.
I see an enemy over there.
Alright, let's do this. Is that us? I guess I say that's not us, right? Gotta go up here. Okay, so that that guy got him too. So I think we're fully eliminated. I think I want that over that.
Welcome to the show. I've got just the thing for you.
New Evo shield. I didn't need to do that, to be honest with you.
All mine.
Hmm. I go with my teammate.
Right in position. Replicator incoming. Grenade out. Took care of that one. Flag out. Enemy that way. Frag out. Frag out. We've got a minute until thermite out.
Oh.
We've got 30 seconds to get to the next ring.
Oh, come on, dude. Yeah, we're screwed. We didn't third party the right third party team. I'm worried. We got a team to our left.
It's your lucky day. I got you.
Damn it. We're gonna die. That was a bad play. But honestly, not a bad game. 6:50 West Coast time, 9:50 on the East. Thanks for being with us, Gaming Morning Show. It is Tuesday, December 8th, 2020. Thanks for being with us wherever you may be. Flying solo for the first hour. I am Ryan. I appreciate being with us on Facebook Gaming, Twitch, YouTube, and at gamingmorningshow.tv. You can find us in all sorts of places. Big thanks to Doc Digital Dot Games for following us on Twitch. We will have Look It's Myco coming up in the next hour, which will be super fun too. Our buddy from Monsters and Friends podcast, and on twitch.tv/Look It's Myco. Coming up, we'll tell you about the new AirPods that's coming up. It is National Brownie Day. It is Lard Day as well. And George Lucas apparently is peeling back the curtain slightly on some wrongs that happened with the Disney acquisition of the LucasArts, the Star Wars franchise. We'll have that coming up for you later on in the show. Big thanks for being with us, though, wherever you may be. Cam stopped by earlier. We were talking about puppies. He said there's a Hug a Plumber Day. Apparently, November has a National Toilet Day. There's a lot of good days of the day. But today we're asking you to pretend to be a time traveler. That is our topic of the day. And if you were to go to a certain time, when would you go? Not where, but when. I mean, you can tell me when or where too, but you need to at least answer when you would go. All right, let's give you some celebrity birthdays today. If you have a birthday to celebrate, please throw it into the chat. We would love to wish a happy birthday to someone in your life. Kim Basinger has a birthday today on December 8th, 2020. Turns 67 today. And then Terry Hatcher also has a birthday. 56 was one of the mermaids on the Love Boat, is the fun fact from Cleveland.com. Dominic Monaghan turns 44. I remember Dominic mostly from Lost, but I know that he was in the Lord of the Rings trilogy as well. Anna Sophia Robb turns 27. Played Violet. I can't remember Violet's last name from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Other birthdays to celebrate. Nicki Minaj turns 38 today. Actor Wendell Pierce from The Wire and other work is 57. NBA champion basketball athlete Dwight Howard turns 35 today. Now a member of, gosh, where did he sign after the Lakers? He was going to re-sign with LA and then decided to go somewhere else. I can't remember where he ended up signing. But it was kind of a shock because LA kept most of its team together. LeBron James and Anthony Davis signing max contract extensions. Nah, that's not true. LeBron's was only a 2-year, but it was maximum money. Sammy Davis Jr., the legendary dancer, singer, impressionist, comedian. I mean, he was just a full-out entertainer. Also had a historical birthday on December 8th. Jim Morrison, the former Doors singer, also had a birthday on December 8th. Actor Wallace Curry Wood, Madam Secretary, is 29 today. One Tree Hill's Katie Vogel, singer, turns 34 today. The Vampire Diaries and Lost Ian Somerhalder turns 42. Somerhalder. Let me look, because I rewatched the first 3 seasons. I was going to say, I bet it's Brody, and sure enough it was. The actor who played Brody in the first couple seasons of Lost. Country singer Marty Raybon turns 61 today. Megadeth's Marty Friedman is 58. David Harewood from Supergirl and Homeland is 55. Duran Duran's Warren Cucurulo, 64 today. Phil Colleen of Def Leppard is 64. So those are some of your birthdays today on December 8th, 2020. Check in the chat. I don't see a birthday to wish you, but if you have a birthday in your life, let us know. You can always do so in the chat. We celebrate birthdays every morning around 6:50 a.m. Pacific time. This day in gaming history, Atari sued Colco Industries for $350 million this date, 1982. This was also a patent infringement lawsuit. They were saying that the expansion module number 1 made by Colco allowed Atari 2600 cartridges to be played on ColecoVision systems. Colco countersued for $500 million, claiming Atari violated antitrust. That same year, Warner Communications announced fourth quarter earnings would be substantially below expectations due to sluggish sales in the Atari video game world. And that's something that hashtag video game expert Sean told us about yesterday, was all of the lawsuits and some of the low sales that came out because there was an 80s video game bust. And I think everything kind of picked back up with the Nintendo time, and voila, we're here now where it's, at record numbers with everyone getting video game systems, and pandemic. I mean, people are home, and so it's not a good reason by any means to have a boom in the video game world. Everyone, I suspect, would much rather not have a pandemic. But in the 80s, that was the case, which I actually wasn't aware of until recently when we started doing this show. 1999, Sony released Gran Turismo 2 for the PlayStation. That was in 1999. The next year, Sony released a new version of the PlayStation 2, had a built-in DVD drive, a DVD remote, but no memory card. It was sold for $390 in Japan. And Dragon Quest III Remix came out for Game Boy Color in Japan this year. This date, rather, in 2000. All right, so stick around. Coming up, it is Pretend to be a Time Traveler Day. So nationaldaycalendar.com has supplied us with 9 books to unleash the time traveler in you. So that'll be our top 10 list coming up next hour. Look, it's Mike O will stop by and be our guest host coming up. And we will talk about more monoliths, National Brownie Day, the AirPod story, and George Lucas, all coming up next hour on Gaming Morning Show. Thanks for being with us wherever you may be, like RHS Jack following us on Twitch. We certainly appreciate that. Facebook Gaming, Twitch, YouTube, and at GamingMorningShow.tv. It is Tuesday. Be right back. Morning, gamer. It is Tuesday, December 8th, 2020. Thanks for being with us wherever you may be. I am Ryan. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Sean is usually here in the first hour. We're going to have a look. It's Mike O joining us here in a second as well. It is National Brownie Day, Lard Day. Don't know if you've last partaken in lard, but apparently that's a day still. Although I think it's used probably more than I realize, not being a cook. Monolith is appearing elsewhere. We'll tell you about that coming up in just a little bit. I have news of AirPods showing up as well. And George Lucas seems to be slightly peeved still from the acquisition of Star Wars because he thought he'd have a little bit more say in the direction of things. Let's bring in Mike O. It is a good morning to do that. He is from the Monsters and Friends podcast and other sorts of things. Good morning, Mike O.
Hola.
How are you doing today?
Sir. I'm fantastic.
Really?
Things are amazing.
Yeah,
Of course.
I had a pretty stressful day yesterday, so it's good to hear that yours yesterday hopefully was fantastic, and today's going that way as well.
Well, you know, I mean, it's early. There's lots of time for it to go the other way, but for now, it's 10 a.m. here on the East Coast, and things are okay. So
It sounds
complain too much.
it sounds like you kind of got Call of Duty Cold War updated as well.
I did. I was like, what? And it was a big one too. So real excited for that one.
Loading,
I-
loading, loading.
Warzone worked though, so that worked, right? You know.
Yep, that's where we're going this morning.
Yeah.
I had a pretty rough Apex run. I don't know if you had a chance to catch any of the first hour, but the first couple games of Apex was exactly like I have two things I don't like about Apex. One, I don't like that you can't look around when you're reviving somebody, because I don't get that. And second, when you drop, there's so many 50-50s right off the bat in so many places. You drop in a certain place, and you're immediately bombarded like by 4 teams sometimes. Other times,
Yeah.
you're completely fine. And I know that that's like a characteristic of BRs, but it feels a lot tougher in Apex for some reason to me. So, could be making-
I feel like that revive thing is a common thing too. Because thinking about it, with Warzone, can you look around while you're reviving somebody?
yeah.
You can.
And I
I
think
don't think
that's
I've ever paid attention.
I think that's where it comes from, because I actually had this lull where I got out of Apex for quite a while, and during that time I was playing Warzone, and I remember, you stick somebody and then you can be like, to make sure nobody's going to come shoot you. In Apex, you have no clue. As soon as the revive is over, you hop up and you're like, hope no one's there.
Yeah, I've never played Apex, so I don't know. But yeah, I can imagine how that would be a problem, because you kind of don't want to die when you're in the process of reviving your teammate, because that kind of defeats the purpose.
Now, are you saying that you really want to get into Apex? That's what I'm hearing you say. You're like, man, I'm just dying to get really into Apex.
It's in the download queue, and for some reason it just hasn't downloaded. It's weird. I don't know.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, maybe you need to turn off that pause button. You sound like Sean right now. It's ridiculous.
The Xbox gods have other ideas. I don't know.
You can follow Look It's Myco on Twitch. He streams a lot of time in the evenings playing Warzone and Black Ops Cold War. And then, of course, Monsters and Friends podcast starts season 3 coming up in January. MNF Pod on Twitter. Monsters and Friends, give us the rundown of what that podcast is about.
So the Monsters and Friends podcast is just basically a podcast that gives a little bit of spotlight to the lesser-known cryptids, legends, and lores of the world. I mean, you got Bigfoot and Loch Ness, and they get all the TV time, but you don't get a lot of the other guys like Bat Squatch and Skunk Ape and Mongolian Deathworm don't catch any like real cred, you know. So my podcast is about giving them the spotlight they deserve.
I do have to admit that at some point I hope to send you a USB extension and a cheap webcam, and you could have a Sasquatch cam.
That would be amazing. That would be great. Are you talking about with Barry back here?
Yeah, the
'Cause
guy
he
over your
doesn't
left
move a whole
shoulder.
lot.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Not that I know of.
that's why you need the camera, because you never
gotcha.
know.
Gotcha.
You
I
never
will.
know.
I will say I've been tempted many times to put it on, because it may or may not be a suit, and I've been very tempted to put it on and stand there and wait for my kids to come by and then just start moving, see what happens.
That would be such a good prank. Oh my gosh, they hopefully would forgive you too.
We'll see. Stay tuned because it's gonna happen.
I mentioned it's National Brownie Day and Lard Day, but it is also Pretend to be a Time Traveler Day. And coming up, we're going to share with you 9 books that you can use to unleash your inner time traveler. My question, though, has been, to when would you go if you could time travel? Because we're clearly focused on a time and then a place. It kind of goes in that order with time travel. I joke that I would probably pick the opportunity to tell the Denver Broncos, hey, you're going to have a John Elway-esque quarterback, but if you don't have a defense, you're not going to win any Super Bowl until his last 2 years. You need to find a defense. Please do it, and don't ruin my orange uniforms, because there's a whole curse around that now. To when would you travel if you could pretend to be a time traveler?
Well, first off, you wouldn't travel to like present day to tell them that they shouldn't have a wide receiver as their quarterback. I feel like that would be a bigger heads up needed.
We're talking Super Bowls compared to trying to get our 5th win, so I don't think
That's
I think I had to kind of prioritize the level of the season. Although
That's
it
fair.
wouldn't be a bad stop off on the way back, right? Like swing into that
Yeah,
quarterback's room and like, hey, wear the mask.
yeah,
Peace.
yeah. So this is a question that I'm very prepared for because these are the kind of random thoughts that I consider often. I would definitely go to 1888, and I'd go live in the Old West because it fascinates me. Fascinates me that, you know, what it was actually like. Was it actually as cool as like movies portray it, or was it like really actually kind of lame and like people shoot each other, but after that it's kind of like we all just go home and are friends. So
It's like a day at the office, but with, 6 shooters and actual death, where it's like, how was your day? Jimmy shot at me like 4 times, didn't kill me. Other than that, we grabbed a beer afterward, and it was a good day. How was your day?
basically, I feel like it's one of those things where it's either like super romanticized or not. I guess I don't know.
I like that. I like the fact that you're telling me that you were uniquely prepared for this moment.
Oh yeah, no, that's a question often. So I used to run a camp, and one of the questions we always asked is if you could play Monopoly with 4 people from any point in history, who would it be? And so I've spent lots of time pondering the whole like, where should I go and who should I talk to? Like, that whole unique thing.
I love that. Yeah, no, it's a good question, and I can't help but think of Marty McFly for some reason. Like, it is top of mind whenever I think of time travel. But, that's just one snippet. And there is a great College Humor bit where they have Doc and Marty go back to actual 1985, and they get there and like, oh, no, this isn't good at all.
Yeah.
It's not anything like we thought it would be.
And I think that's like the reality of it is like, would it really be that awesome? All the things that you think. I mean, obviously not getting like dysentery and dying is awesome, But all the other stuff, you know, lots of interesting things.
It could always be better.
It could. It could.
All right, we're playing some Call of Duty Warzone now, which I haven't played in forever. I had. Oh, there's a guy on me. Of course there is, because why wouldn't there be? I remember Sean saying yesterday that they're going to integrate all the weapons.
Hey, good news, I'm dead.
Awesome. Oh, he's behind me.
Hey, Google, stop playing. What?
Oh no, I'm climbing up to the
I
roof.
said I'm dead, and Google interpreted it as I wanted her to play some weird random music.
Oh, this guy. He's...
Coming back. That's something. Okay. And she also, Google started playing Dead Bodies.
All right,
I'm not familiar with Dead Bodies.
I need ammo. Please put ammo in the gun. Thank you. I'm also trying to share something as I'm running along, so that's never good. That's the one downside to doing a morning show style stream as opposed to a games style stream is you're always doing something else instead of focusing just in on the gameplay.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's the same with the life of a regular streamer too. You're yeah, there's 46 other things you can pay attention to.
Okay, so then in that case, it's just that they're better at it than me. Because I can't play the game at the same time. Oh, there was someone dead up here.
Ooh. Excuse me.
I still really like this BR, though.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We were talking about it last night while we were playing Cold War, and Treyarch really had it against them. Had it going against them because, I mean, Activision hit it out of the park with this game. And then you go to the cartoony world of Cold War, and it just wasn't as... It's not as great.
Cold War is definitely growing on me. I'm excited that they said in the Gaming Morning Show, Morning Gaming News, the report that Sean had yesterday. I'm going here, by the way. This is the right button.
Guys shooting behind us.
Okay.
Or behind me. I'm
This-
coming to you, Chief.
This is very unlooted, so good place to be. They did say that they are going to bring back gunfight.
Hey, you got guys coming to you.
Okay. I'm shielding up.
They might move on by. They might not.
That's you?
That's me. I'm downstairs.
I almost
There-
shot at you,
oh,
though.
there's a car outside. Oh, are they driving away?
Yeah, I
Yep,
think
they
so.
are driving away.
Okay. Now we just need cash.
Very true.
The biggest thing that I don't like when I play this game now is I'm always constantly trying to hide my weapon. Because you can do that in Apex, where you hold the triangle and your gun goes away, and then you run faster. That was my
Oh.
glass, by the way. So I'm always trying to do that now, and I can't do it in strategy.
Yeah.
Modes.
We're in the safe zone, ready for a fight.
There's a whatchamacallit, a recon up here. So I don't know if someone's gonna come for it or not.
Should we try to get it so that we can get the cash?
Well, no, it's one that somebody else popped.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's just chilling right here.
Heading this way.
I honestly didn't know you could see those. I'll be straight with you.
Well, we can get this recon over here.
But here, so this thing
Oh,
right
there's
here.
a bad guy.
LMG here.
There's no longer a bad guy, but his friend is over here.
Okay, running to you. Oh, that's not how you do grenades. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. Thank you for apologizing.
So I'm sitting here trying to like queue it up to throw, and I forgot in this game the moment you
Oh,
push R1.
it doesn't work if you run outside of the smoke.
Okay, I'm trying to find him.
Ooh.
Don't
Got
see
some
him.
Custom guns.
Is he still in the same spot?
Going over here.
He's moved down. Yeah, he's moved down there.
Moving over here.
Anything good? Anything good? He gon' die.
Okay, I'm throwing gas up front. That was a really big parachute.
Oh, is that your guess?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't see him.
Nah, I think he might have run through that way, or he's chilling inside. Oh, he's inside. Oh, that's you. Oh, you scared me.
Picked up the recon though. Nope, sorry. Boom. Let's go get that recon then. I can leave him alone. He'll revive his friend. He'll be back to defeat us here shortly.
Luckily, his friend's DED.
Stick around. We're going to have the top 9 books that you can read to pretend that you're a time traveler on Pretend That You're a Time Traveler Day.
Wow.
Later on, we
Yep,
have
there's-
sports too.
Books.
Do you read much?
I can't read, so no. I would like to read more. I've actually discovered the whole audiobook thing
Mm-hmm.
a lot recently, and that has been a game changer. I'm not very good at like sitting still.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my downfalls in this game too. But yeah, I'm not really good at kind of. I can't sit and like read a book and then kind of go that way. So I do audiobooks. I like audiobooks.
Yeah, and my problem that I run into with audiobooks, which I definitely do like, and I like the fact that they exist, is I sit there and get distracted because my brain wanders, and then it's harder to return to where I was compared to when I'm doing a paper book or a
Yeah.
Kindle book. I can kind of figure out where I left off before the same thing had happened, because I do that all the time.
Yeah.
My brain wanders all the time.
I'm the exact opposite. So even when it comes to I listen to audiobooks while I'm doing other things. Oh Jesus! I'm gonna lay down right here for a second.
Everything's fine.
Okay.
We're definitely just shooting at each other. It's cool.
But yeah, I'll pop it in. Same thing like with a podcast. I'll listen to it while I'm doing something else, and that generally I can pay attention better. As opposed to if I just sit down and try to do like read, I just instantly I'm like, oh, I think I'm supposed to pluck the hairs on my dog today, So no bueno.
Marks a shield plate for you.
Ooh, Lodo trap.
Do you want to go get it?
Guys.
Okay.
Guys in here. I don't know if it's our friend or someone else. But the guy just went in the window.
I'm worried about you.
And apparently he killed me. He's right on my body. Should have no armor left. He took off. He took off while running. There he is. Oh, there's two of them.
Yeah, the other guy popped me in the back. I didn't realize he that shotgun shoots so slowly.
It
What's
was
it
that
go-
Model 380 or whatever.
Yeah, 680 or whatever. Yeah.
Slow.
I went to go pop him twice. I was expecting an Apex speed shotgun.
It's the senior citizen of shotguns.
It's right. I didn't heal up either. I wouldn't pushed. All right.
Yeah,
I'm doing,
books are fun. Some books are really great. Like I read through the Hunger Games series in like 3 days.
that was a good one.
You're up, soldier. Now go sort this fucker out.
Oh, he beat me. He's better. All right. That's right. 7:21 West Coast time, 10:21 on the East. It's Maiko, and I am Ryan on Gaming Morning Show. Appreciate you being with us on Tuesday, December 8th, 2020. Stick around. We got sports coming up. I missed both NFL games yesterday, except for the second quarter of the Bills game. But I mean, I was surprised that Washington beat Pittsburgh. I was sitting there looking at the score to see if I was going to watch streams or go back to the Bills-Niners game. And by the time I looked at the Bills-Niners score in the third quarter, it was a 2-touchdown margin. I'm like, I'm pretty confident the Bills are going to win this. I'm not going to watch it. But then I look below and it says Washington football team with little, we won arrow over Pittsburgh. I'm like, I doubt it. And sure enough, it actually happened. Washington football team hands the Steelers their first loss of the year, and it was in Pittsburgh, even though, in the era of the pandemic, the home field advantage is not what it used to be. So
No. R.I.P. Don Shula, man. He can't toast the old loss there like they do every year.
oh yeah, because Don Shula died this year, right?
Yeah, like 2020 he passed.
Yeah, it was like April or May, I want to say, but
It was like 14 years ago, back in April. So yeah, no, that's I'm sure there's some other guys, Larry Zonka or Marino, or I don't know, one of those guys. Was Marino?
Did you say
One of the-
he's been dead for 14 years?
No, it just seems like this year has been,
Oh yes, thank
14
God. I was like,
years,
I
yeah,
swear
no.
Shula was alive 14 years ago, and I was worried I missed something. So yes, I'm
What are you
on board
talking
with
about?
you.
He died in 1996.
Ryan, it's 2020. You've been dead for 14 years. Oh no, what happened to me?
May 4th he passed.
All right, here we go. Let's give you the 9 books that you can read to unleash the time traveler in you. It is Pretend to be a Time Traveler Day. I'm going to go back to the 80s and try to tell the Denver Broncos to get their defense ready to go sooner. Or I guess it could have also been the running game because, Terrell Davis shows up, and that's how the Broncos won their first 2 Super Bowls. Give your answer again. Time traveler, where would you, or to win, would you go?
1888 in the Old West. That's where I'm going. Wait, can you die in this time travel scenario?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Maybe I'm gonna reconsider. I'm gonna go to somewhere safe.
Just bring a growl
Maybe
with you.
Bring, oh, true that. Because if I'm time traveling, I could bring a fully automatic weapon, and they'll think I'm some sort of god. Yeah.
It's like, what magic have you brought before us? I like how you picked specifically 1888. Like the year is, it's not. I would go back to the late 1800s. It was 1888. That was the year to be in the Old West.
That was a good year. It's funny you talk about the book question. While I'm not an avid reader, I'm an avid writer, and for a while I was working on a novella set in the late 1800s. It was kind of like a Les Miserables meets Tombstone.
Ooh.
So yeah, it was good, but then the whole attention span thing got in the way, and I would write 50 pages and then delete it because I was like, this is terrible. Yeah.
I don't think that's the worst concept I've ever heard though. And I'm not a screenwriter by any means, but I'm interested to learn more. There's some of those pitches that you'll hear for the first time and be like, that ain't gonna work. Yours actually,
Yeah.
I'm kind of intrigued by it. Do you have any of it still drafted, or did you delete the whole thing?
I've deleted it. It was 3 computers ago. It probably has all the information on there. If I can figure out how to fire up Windows XP again or whatever it was, I'm sure one of these old laptops in the garage has some information about it. But
Go find some Windows ME somewhere and fire that back up.
DIREXE.
Here's those 9 books. The first one is A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. This was from Mark Twain. It was an 1889 book. So, that 1 year right after you were done time traveling, you could also read this book. If you've read any of these, you just jump in and say, you know what, I got you on this one. But this one is a mechanic, puts his 19th century skills to use in King Arthur's court, and implements his democratic ideas. Things do not remain all good and well, though, as it is the Dark Ages after all. Twain's inspiration for this novel was from reading Sir Thomas Malory's Les Mortes d'Arthur. I don't know what that means, but that book is from 1889.
I did watch the movie A Kid in King Arthur's Court.
Is that related?
I have no idea. It wasn't a very good movie, but I know it existed.
We're gonna say it was related because that makes for a good show. So
Absolutely, Mark Twain probably wrote the screenplay for it. So
The Time Machine by H.G. Wells is second on this list. This one came 6 years later. It was a Victorian-era novel. Narrator tells of a man who claims to have invented a time machine. The inventor's cohorts don't believe him, and the story follows the man and his machine to 802701. We're talking 6-digit years. Time traveler discovers 2 types of humans, and while he explores the world, he discovers extreme differences between 2 different races, one gentle and fair, and the other evil. Never
I
heard
think
of
we read that in high school. The time, yeah, I think we were supposed to read that in high school. Thanks to my good friend, what were those books called? Cliff's Notes. Thanks to my friend Cliff, I figured it out, but I didn't read the whole book.
Cliff was always good at supplying the notes.
Cliff was great.
Birdman says, Mike, what's
Bird
up,
is one of
peeps?"
that's one of my my old guy gaming crew. He's tune in evenings, watch us play on the Call of Duty and be really bad. Well, except for Bird. Bird's the one who screws up our matchmaking. So
Oh, because he brings all the good ones
Yeah.
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have a friend like that too in Apex. Pebble in the Sky. This was from Isaac Asimov. 1950 transports main character Joseph Schwartz 50,000 years into the future after a nuclear accident. A new empire has overtaken, and they consider Earthlings an inferior group of beings. A Wrinkle in Time, 1962, by Madeleine L'Engle. Mysterious disappearances are often telltale signs of time travel. H.G. Wells' time travel made a puzzling disappearance early in the Time Machine. In A Wrinkle in Time, oh, this is the one that they made a movie recently. Wasn't Oprah in A Wrinkle in
Yeah.
Time?
I think so.
Yeah,
I
the
was just
story.
Googling it.
Story begins the mysterious disappearance of a father who's a scientist and the unusual arrival of a Mrs. Whatsit into the children's lives. L'Engle introduces the fifth dimension, allowing the children to travel immense space and time. That is number 4 on this list. And I'll give you one more while you're Googling, and then you can let us know your findings. Slaughterhouse 5 by Kurt Vonnegut. Vonnegut?
Yeah. Vonnegut. Yeah.
Vonnegut.
All good. All good.
Final months of World War II, POW Kurt Vonnegut witnessed the Allied bombing of Germany from a meat locker. His experiences at war and during the bombing resulted in many of the messages and disjointed images expressed in Slaughterhouse 5.
Fun fact: in Indianapolis, Indiana, the area in which I live, there's the Kurt Vonnegut Museum, right downtown. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty exciting.
I had to look up Clark Yeager passed away yesterday, and I had to look up who Clark Yeager was, but apparently a very influential pilot in
The
American
fastest,
history.
fastest time on land or whatever, right?
That's what I read. Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like the first
So-
paragraph of the Wikipedia. So nice work.
That's why I know. But yeah, Wrinkle in Time. There was a movie with Oprah was definitely in it. However, ironically enough, A Wrinkle in Time is one of the most frequently banned books because people have said that it's too complicated for children, and earlier critics disapproved of its plucky female protagonist. So, fun fact for the day.
That was we have the fun facts and the birthdays, and you're bringing into this 9 books to unleash the time traveler in you. Since Birdman is here, if you feel so inclined, you can let us know to when you would travel. Maiko's saying the late 1800s. I don't even know why I said it. It's 1888. Damn it, that's where he's going, to the Old West, and I'm gonna
1888.
and I'm going to try to convince the Broncos to get a defense or a running game for the 80s and see if they can win a Super Bowl before 1997. Number 6 on this book's list, Kindred by Octavia E. Butler from 1979. Sometimes time travelers use a machine or magic to achieve their missions. Authors also use an element of disorientation or a special place to relocate their characters from time to time. In Kindred, a young black woman named Adana Dana Franklin is introduced to time travel when she becomes disoriented while unpacking in her new home in Los Angeles. She's transported to 1800s and saves a drowning white boy. She and her white husband Kevin take on 1800s plantation life and a mysterious relationship between the boy Rufus through Octavia E. Butler's novel. It's an interesting storyline. 1988, The Devil's Arithmetic. This is by Jane Volan. Young Hannah Stern and her family prepare for the beginning of Passover. It is the 1980s, and while Hannah's grandparents try to instill a sense of remembrance for her ancestors and their suffering during World War II at the hands of the Nazis, Hannah still has a few lessons to learn. In the case of Hannah Stern, she falls into a portal that causes her to retrace the tragic steps of her ancestors. There's some pretty heavy themes in some of these
That's
books.
that's wow. Okay. I feel like that's how you make a good book, right? You have to do some sort of like heavy, weird thing. I mean, no one wants to hear about you going back in time and like picking the brown puppy over the white one. So,
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, and this is probably also a better use of any time travel than me going back and being like, hey, Dan Reeves might not be it, or hey, by the early 90s, Dan's going to get sick of John Elway, and they're going to have a little bit of a separation, and we could avoid all of that if you do this. Probably
I'd read that book.
probably stopping the Nazis would be a whole worthwhile endeavor instead of my Broncos quarterback situation. Hofbrew says, I would travel back to old festivals to see artists I didn't know at the time, but are absolutely huge now. Outside of the real world event type stuff, the heaviness that we just talked about, that's actually a really good idea. You could see what it was like to see, like, I mean, he's going to say, like, an Excision, who I don't know who it is. But, like, you could see an early Marshmallow. Like, that would be kind of cool.
An early Marshmallow, back when he was a mini Marshmallow. Yeah.
Like when you get the hot cocoa that has the small marshmallows.
Yeah. I mean, going back to like a Woodstock would probably be pretty cool.
That
You
would
know,
be
getting
neat.
to see that event, and yeah, you know, checking out the Beatles, checking out the anarchy and craziness that they brought with them.
Yeah, like
that
a
would be really cool.
like seeing like a first recording of the Beatles, or like the initial meeting where it's like, oh, John, meet Ringo. Oh, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too, Ringo. And you can tell instantly that like Ringo was going to be the one.
Yeah,
They're all like side-eyeing.
yeah.
Just go back and play your drums, Ringo. I'm busy up here.
I mean, Ringo's made it the furthest though.
I know.
So, I mean, he did something right. I
And
guess
that's what I'm saying. People dog on Ringo, but he made it. He made it.
he's the winner. He's the winner of the thing.
All right, final 2 books on this list. 9 books to channel your inner time traveler. Outlander series by Diana Gabaldon from 1991. It's an extremely popular series that features a woman who leads a dual life in 2 centuries. And number 9, 11/22/63, written by Stephen King in 2011. This author writes, we know Stephen King has other time travel inspired novels, but his latest grapples with the idea of changing history and putting it right, that what if question that many time travel stories tackle and tell us time and again that it never ends well. This is the story of Jake. He's lured into answering the what if question started by the owner of a local diner with a portal in 1958. Apparently,
Okay.
Hulu premiered a series based on this novel starring James Franco.
Yeah. Yep. I remember seeing like previews for it, and it was one of those things you're like, yeah, I'm gonna watch that, and then never did. But yeah, so that's why that sounded familiar, and it's modern, so there you go, right?
I think that's kind of the thing we're running into now with content, is there's so many shows now. You see a trailer for it, like the one that has my eye, which, you know, this is a Facebook ads thing, is like, I want to see Flight Attendant on HBO Max. I'll probably not watch Flight Attendant on HBO Max because I'm not going to stop long enough. It's Kaylee Cow from Big Bang Theory. She's in it.
Oh, gotcha.
7:34 Pacific time, 10:34 in the Eastern. Birdman says, hard decision, but I'd probably say back to check out the great ancient cultures like the Inca and the Aztec to understand what happened to them. See, that's a much more worthwhile endeavor than me saying
Absolutely.
to try to fix the Broncos quarterbacking situation.
Well, and I feel bad too, because I was actually going to change my answer and say I would go back to 1992 when I asked Janine Fisher out at the 6th grade dance, and she said no, and I felt awful about it, and I think that started the spiral of my life. But yeah, his answer is much better. I think I'll stick with 1888 because it actually kind of sounds neat.
Janine Fisher?
Janine Fisher, yeah,
Man, that's
Sixth
amazing.
grade. There was I can tell you everything. There was the Bryan Adams song from Robin Hood was playing, and everything I do, and I was like, oh, it's the last song I'm gonna ask her to dance, and I walked up to her to say, to ask her, and she just shook her head no and walked right by me.
Ooh, Janine, that's cold.
Yeah,
cold.
she added me on Facebook though. It was weird. Yeah, I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna have to rehash some old issues here.
It's really weird when she added you in 1992 to Facebook.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was
Wait,
called my face. At that
does
point.
she have time traveling abilities herself? Dun dun dun. It is funny. One of my favorite radio shows is Dan Patrick Show. He constantly brings up, I think her name was Jenny or Jeannie.
Yep, Jenny.
Yep, always brings her up too as the girl who broke his heart early in high school. Hofbrew saying, time travel last night, brother and him participated in a Zoom call with Ernest Cline, thanks to our show telling about Ready Player 2. Ernest Cline, I believe, is the author of the Ready Player books.
Wow.
That's pretty neat.
Hofbrew, are you famous? Like, am I missing something here? How did you even land? That's a pretty big land.
In related news, Hofbrew is actually the main character of Ready Player 2, so just get ready for
Well,
it.
yes. I just mean he's is he gonna time travel in the book?
Why wouldn't you? I mean, you got a DeLorean, you got the whole world. Birdman's gonna head back to work. What is wrong with? He's calling my hat ugly, my Kentucky hat.
He's from Georgia. So.
Listen, I will not die on this hill, Birdman. You can have all the SEC you want. It's a long, complex story, but right now Kentucky basketball looks like it's 1-4. So, good luck to your Georgia Bulldogs this year. I've actually been to Athens. Stopped in. I was down in the southeastern part of the country, and one of my goals was to try to go around and take a look at any football stadiums that I've never been to. One of my favorite tourist things is to go to empty football stadiums, because I think it's just amazing how they stand on their own. It's an architectural feat every time that I see it. We're going to prison. I just can't mark it correctly. And luckily, I happened to get to Athens, and someone working in the grounds crew let me in to, it's like Sanford Stadium or something like that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It was really cool. I've had that happen 3 times. I had it happen at Clemson. Someone who was actually doing construction on Clemson Stadium let me in. And in Nebraska, at Memorial Stadium, we had a security guard who were like, hey, if we could just kind of look through the gates. And the guy was like, well, how about I just take you in? It's like, how about that? And we went in. It was awesome. Oh, yeah, the hedges, for sure. Are you in trouble, or is that... Oh, you... Yeah, okay, I'll hop in.
I'm just trying to run people down.
Okay. Yeah, the hedges. And I would love to watch games at all these stadiums, too, but the problem is working in athletics. I'll never be able to go to games on a Saturday except for early season or late season, because in Division 3, we play 9 football games. And they start a week after all the D1s, and then they go for a couple more weeks afterward, but... By that point, I'm in my basketball season, so it's not realistic for me to get to do a whole lot of D1 games as a spectator. So my goal would more be watching all the NFL games in their stadiums. So, did you just drop your helicopter? Oh, that was someone else.
Oh, I'm down.
Are you up on that thing?
Fell off the roof.
Oh no, you're over there.
I'm right here.
Why'd you fall off the roof?
I fell from right up above me right here.
Okay, there's a guy coming down. There's a helicopter above us. Unless...
That's mine.
Okay.
That's my helicopter.
Because this one over there that you marked,
Yeah.
that looks exactly like yours. It had the same skin and everything. So
There's a guy to our left.
you fell from the roof.
Oh, there he is. I can't go anywhere from. My then girlfriend, now wife, and I went to whatchamacallit, we went to Michigan from New York forever ago, and I'm a big Michigan guy. I love the Wolverines, and we drove past Ann Arbor, and I didn't get to go into the big house, but we got to drive by it, and that behemoth was amazing to see.
Yeah, even that is fun. Is to get a chance to see.
Yeah.
I
Well,
lost.
What I didn't realize is that the big house is you have the big house, you have the building, and it's on street level. Then the field is goes down.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, so the field is below street level, quite a ways, and that was quite surprising.
He was just hiding in the corner, and I just walked right past him. He shot me in the butt.
Not over yet. Still by your release.
Oh,
You got this. I believe in you.
I believe I can fly.
All right, well, that's fine. I got some time to pay off some things that we haven't talked about yet. So I was telling you about AirPods. There's some new AirPods that are out. And if you thought AirPods were only in the ear... Oh, you got friends. He's got to be AirPods are only in the ear. Get ready for this. Apple introducing AirPods Max. It's a new wireless headphone that's actually... Oh no, you got blasted.
He laid down. All right.
Well, I mean, in his defense, you did kind of duck down behind the railing, so
That's true.
there was a little tit for tat there. I'm just saying. I'll be quiet when you get to your gulags. So you have a chance to win. But these are over-the-ear headphones that are coming out by Apple. They're AirPods Max, and of course, being Apple, there's 5 gorgeous colors. This is from the press release.
Rose gold.
Ooh, he's got a crossbow, best weapon in the game. Oh, that was too easy. Too easy. 40mm Apple design dynamic driver that provides rich, deep bass, accurate mid-ranges, and crisp, clean, high-frequency extension so every note can be heard. It also has, as I imagined it would, a unique dual neodymium ring magnet motor.
Great. I love the new Dominion.
Neodymium. Neodymium.
Sure. Yeah, I like it.
This is, of course, for total harmonic distortion, maintained to less than 1% across the entire audible range. This is very Apple. There's a lot of words to describe headphones.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what you got to do, right?
If you watch any of their release videos for like previous iPhones and things, it's like, we have engineered the iPhone to endure, and then they list a whole bunch of scenarios that you'll never have your phone in. Likely. If you are an Antarctic explorer, this iPhone was made for you.
If you ever thought about diving to the depths of the Marianas Trench and wrestling with a kraken, this is your phone.
We made this
I never thought
iPhone
of any of those.
for you. So they're coming out. Apparently, they're going to have adaptive EQ, active noise cancellation, other types of things that you'd expect from headphones. December 15th is when availability starts. You get them in silver, gray, sky blue, green, or pink.
No rose gold?
Probably the pink can go with your rose gold.
It doesn't sound as awesome as rose gold.
Sean did get an iPhone 12 Max and got it in that dark blue that they have. It's pretty legit. It does
The
look really
iPhone
nice.
12, I did not know that was a thing, if I'm honest.
Yeah, iPhone 12 Max and iPhone 12 Mini are the two new iterations.
12 mini.
I think I'm gonna give myself fortuitous mispronunciation. So, although that's not really a mispronunciation so much as
The first one
a
is-
made-up
yeah.
word.
Yeah, that's just they tried to make up like an element or a something. That's not cool, Apple.
Neo.
I mean, I guess if you're like
Dominion.
if you control the world and you're multi-gazillionaires, you can do what you want.
Yeah, they didn't need our permission, I suppose.
No.
All right, I'm throwing this in the chat. Link for the headphones. I mean, like most everything that Apple makes. I mean, they're pretty.
Absolutely.
Although I've never really liked the look of the AirPods with the little knob dangling down. Never loved that, but it's not bad.
I like the new AirPods, not the fancy schmancy ones you're talking about, but like the newer ones have that bulbous end with the rubber. You like the use of the word bulbous?
Yes.
They have the rubber plugs that go in your ears, so it holds it better than just the hard plastic.
It's the best use of bulbous ever on the History of Gaming morning show. So,
Okay.
of course, there's a sniper. And an airstrike that got you underneath the bridge. Or that was a cluster strike.
All right.
That's right, you can look shocked. You deserve to look shocked. That was...
I'm always learning how where you can die from, because it's everywhere apparently.
Man, yeah. I thought you were safe. I thought you were in good shape. And then all of a sudden, kaboom!
It's all good.
All right, that's Mike O. I am Ryan. You're watching Gaming Morning Show, 7:46 West Coast time, 10:46 on the East. You can find us Facebook Gaming, Twitch, YouTube at a gamingmorningshow.tv. We are designed to be a morning radio show that happens to play games instead of music. And all of December, we are going to try to craft an idea of what a Patreon could look like in the future of the show, especially for those who have started joining us early on. So if you have any recommendations on what we could do, definitely let us know in the chat. You can also find us on Twitter, WatchGMS, or you can email us gamingmorningshow@gmail.com. Coming up next hour, we will have community games if we have enough people who want to play, maybe some Google Feud, some trivia. Are you hanging out for the final hour, or do you got to run early?
I have a staff meeting at 11.
Okay,
so
staff
I will
meeting.
not be hanging out.
Got to report for duty, and that's completely fine. So I'll take you for the final hour myself, the GMS Gaming Hour. We'll probably shift back to Apex at that point. It is now, at this time, the moment to look at sports. We have to see what happened yesterday. And as I mentioned, the biggest surprise for me, and I don't know if anyone watched this, but Washington beat Pittsburgh 23-17. I don't know how, but actually, apparently, the football team has won like 4 straight games or something. The
That's
NFC,
incredible.
yeah, the NFC East is heating up, except for
Let's not talk about
the
it,
Eagles.
right? Well, Jalen Hurts got some. He looked real crisp, going 5 of 12 with a pick.
But are you gonna
Yeah,
feel
I
better about him than Carson?
I'm all about aboard the Wentz train. so.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see there's a reason to switch now. I actually do like the fact that they have Jalen Hurts on their roster because they can use Jalen for certain situations, and could be a very good backup too because Wentz does have the history of injuries for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm still an Eagles believer. It's just it makes me wonder. Here's my worry for you now. Was Frank Reich it?
1,000%. My joke is I think Carson Wentz is going to do great in Indianapolis next year.
When
or in
Phillip
2
is
years,
gone, yeah.
When they trade him to the Colts.
Yeah.
So
I mean, look at what the Colts are doing this year for sure, with a 48-year-old quarterback who can't throw as well as Tom Brady.
with 14 kids, yeah.
Buffalo
That guy's got management down.
Buffalo beat San Francisco 34-20. It's management down 34-24. Buffalo now 9-3. The Bills are on pace to win the division. You can say your AFC East champion Buffalo Bills, although the Dolphins are still hanging around. Though if there's Patriots haters out here, the best thing that can happen is either of those other two teams winning the division so you don't have another Patriots home playoff game. So I mean,
2020 is a weird year. It's a really, really weird year.
And my wife swears that, like, my whole life I was a Tom Brady hater. I was not. I actually wasn't the most Patriots fatigued. I actually looked at what New England was doing and be like, I wish we could have that. And I felt like the Broncos did have it with Mike Shanahan. They just got very impatient with the 8-8s and 8-8s and 8-8s. So we got rid of Shanny in 2008. And since then, we've had more losing seasons than we've had since the 60s. So
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, as an Eagles fan, I'm impatient, I guess. We won the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and I mean, last year we weren't awful. The year before that we weren't awful, and I mean, this year is kind of an aberration. We can't like, we're the worst. We have the worst luck ever. He's like, we just won the Super Bowl. Shut up. But yeah.
yeah, and I try to remind my Broncos friends about that too. We've won a Super Bowl within the last 5 years.
Yes.
Things
Yes,
are still
we're-
better than in a lot of places.
You could be a Dolphins fan. So,
That's true. I watched
or a Jets fan. You could be a Jets fan.
Yeah.
I mean,
Speaking of which, they fired Greg Williams. I watched this on Twitter. Someone was very frustrated with
fix it.
Williams because he blitzed on the final play of the game when the Raiders won last Sunday. And someone was pointing out a clip of actually when Cleveland played Denver. And the Broncos were in a very similar situation. And here's Williams, all-out blitz. And this guy's like, Williams always does that. That is something he always does. And he felt like that's
Did it
what cost them the game. So
Yep, did it in New Orleans a lot too. And that's the tricky thing though, is you get coaches get in their little window. You know, they have plays that they like to go to, and schemes and whatnot that they really live by, no matter what their personnel looks like, and that becomes a problem.
yeah, it leads predictability. Gonzaga Baylor are atop the AP Top 25 men's basketball poll. Their game was postponed because of Gonzaga COVID issues. Coach Tara Vanderveer and Stanford new number 1 in the women's basketball poll. The Cardinal ascended to the top over previous number 1 South Carolina. South Carolina lost at home to then number 8 North Carolina State. Louisville's up 3 spots to number 2. That is their highest ranking in school history. And UConn, which is yet to play a game because of coronavirus, is still number 3. The Wolfpack are now number 4. South Carolina fell to 5th.
That's incredible that they haven't played a game and they still happen to be top 5. But I mean, I guess it's early in the season, so those top 25 really doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically where you start out, right? You can't lose something if you
Yeah.
haven't played. It'd be a problem later on. And last but not least, some Olympics news. The International Olympic Committee has added breakdancing as an official Olympic sport. This is, according to the Associated Press, an attempt to lure younger audiences who now see street dance battles officially added to the medal events at the 2024 Paris Games. They also confirmed that skateboarding, sport climbing, and surfing are either added or have they already been in? I can't tell from the story. I don't think so. Based on the way that's written, it
don't
looks like they
think
were
so.
added. Yeah. So I'm familiar with skateboarding because I am not a younger audience. I'm familiar with surfing. What is sport climbing?
I'm gonna guess it's where you go on the wall and you have to get up like as quickly as you can. I think it was on like ESPN 14 once, where you Spider-Man it up the wall as quickly as you could, and but I don't see how that could be like an entire Olympic event.
No, if you're
like,
timed, I mean, anything that's timed can be a sport, I suppose. So you're kind of
maybe just
describing
climbing.
like bouldering, right?
kind of,
Okay.
but it's literally a vertical wall that has like horizontal juts that come out and stuff, and they try to get up to like 100 feet as quickly as they can.
Damn. This is the official Wikipedia description of sport climbing. Form of rock climbing that may rely on permanent anchors fixed to the rock for protection, in which a rope that is attached to the climber is clipped into the anchors to arrest a fall, or that involves climbing short distances with a crash pad underneath as protection.
Well, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna look through this then, because I assumed it was one thing, but apparently it's not the.
Hey,
one thing, so.
you had me bought in. So,
Hey,
Sport Climbing 2021. Last but not least, Lance Lynn, pitcher acquired by the Chicago White Sox in a trade from the Texas Rangers. Are you a big Star Wars fan?
I like it.
But not
I don't know
huge.
if I'd say I'm a
Like,
big
not
no.
crazy. Okay. Well, I wanted to give you the George Lucas story before you had the Jets. I can still do that. Just to give a little insight, basically 8 years after Lucasfilm sold to Disney, Zach Sharf of IndieWire reporting that George Lucas is a little peeved that he was required to give up so much control, saying it was very, very painful. Lucas sat down with author Paul Duncan for an interview in a just-released book, The Star Wars Archives, and said, "At the time, I was starting the next trilogy. I talked to the actors and I was starting to gear up. I was also about to have a daughter with my wife. It takes 10 years to make a trilogy. I'd still be working on episode 9. In 2012, he was 69 years old, and he goes on to talk more about an honest feeling in a career-defining decision to prioritize family over Star Wars. So,
I respect that. I mean, you have to, prioritize what's most important. Personal things. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people who probably believe that he ruined a franchise because of that decision.
I think one thing that's good from a novice Star Wars person, because I'm not even really a fan, I'd be disingenuous to call myself a fan, is the fact that Disney owns Star Wars. The experiences that you can have now in the theme parks and stuff, I mean, that is pretty epic. And there was probably few places that could make something like that happen as well as Disney. But yeah, if you're looking at it strictly through the creative realm for the movies, yeah, I don't know if that was something that's going to help the franchise going forward. And that's where we'll leave it. At 7:55 West Coast time, 10:55 on the East, we all have to say goodbye to Look It's Mike O. Watch him and the Heavy Carry Birdman evenings on twitch.tv/Look It's Mike O. You can also catch season 3 of the Monsters and Friends podcast on Twitter at MNFpod and wherever podcasts are sold. Are you back tomorrow? You can hang out with us some more?
Absolutely, I'll give you the 2 hours tomorrow.
All right, I appreciate you. That's Look It's Mike O. Thanks for hanging out with us on Gaming Morning Show. And thanks to you for being with us as we finish our final hour coming up. We will talk more about different things that are going on. Juice World was the rapper that I referenced a couple days ago because I don't remember. I think it was either trending. Yeah, because today is the 1-year anniversary of his death, so he would have had a birthday, is where I found that out. And that Come and Go song with him and Marshmello, I really, really like. I didn't realize he had died, so today is the 1-year anniversary of his death. We'll talk more about that. Also, monoliths continue to pop up. This last one was in New Mexico. We'll tell you about that. It is National Brownie Day. It is Lard Day, and it is Pretend You're a Time Traveler Day. So we're asking you, to when would you go, and what's the best time traveler movie or game of all time? I keep bringing it Back to the Future, but I don't necessarily know if that is, in fact, the best game. So, best movie, rather. So stick with us. We have more still to come on Gaming Morning Show. I am Ryan. You can find us on Facebook Gaming, Twitch, YouTube, and at gamingmorningshow.tv. It is Tuesday, December 8th. Back in a bit.
You to stay. When you're playful, give it time. I'll make you mine, girl, your hand in mine. I'll lead you far away, girl, so divine. Our lips touch, our eyes close. Pull me down, drown me in this thing I'm feeling. Round and round, our world is turning upside down. Tell me how I could be the one you're needing, girl. Your touch is driving me wild. I want your body on me. This moment is fleeting, so don't go away. I want your body on me. This moment is magic.
Morning, gamer! It is Tuesday, December 8th, 2020. Thanks for hanging out with us. Gaming Morning Show continues. I am Ryan. You can find us on Facebook Gaming, Twitch, YouTube, and at gamingmorningshow.tv. It is Pretend to be a Time Traveler Day. And so we've been asking you, to when would you travel? We've had everything from the late 1880s, specifically 1888, talking about going to the Old West. That was our buddy Look, It's Mike O joining us to co-host in the second hour. Birdman said trying to go back and maybe check out great ancient civilizations like the Inca and the Aztec and try to understand what happened there. Hofbrew telling us that go back and check out music festivals and see artists before they were big, which I actually think from an entertainment standpoint, like, that's a pretty good answer. Mine had to do with the Broncos. I'd go back to the 80s and say, hey, good news. You're going to have the opportunity to draft. They didn't draft John Elway. You're going to have an opportunity to trade for John Elway. But you're going to need a defense or a really good running game, or else you're going to lose 3 Super Bowls handily in the 80s. And then that way, Denver wouldn't have their uniforms curse, which is the organization choosing to not wear orange in their last Super Bowl appearance. They won it, and that even reinforced this idea that orange is a curse in the Super Bowl, which is super frustrating because I love our orange unis. Today's National Brownie Day. I love brownies, and my wife, bless her abilities, she has this mentality that brownies are not hard to make. And so she will constantly, I'll be like, hey, can you make cookies really quick? And she'll be like, no, but I can make brownies really quick. And I'm very appreciative of her for being able to do that. Because there is nothing that I can really do in the kitchen that is of any sort of quick, with quick speed, except make some pasta. And boil spaghetti with the best of them. So she's super good at the brownie world, and they can have M&Ms in them. They can have nothing in them other than just the chocolate brownie. They can have chocolate chips in them. I'm on board, but if you start to put nuts into brownies, you're just ruining what could otherwise be a good thing. Not a big fan. It is the GMS Gaming Hour. We play a little bit more of the gameplay focused in... we don't play more of the gameplay. The gameplay becomes more of the focus than usual, but we still have some fun stuff. We'll play some community games if you're still with us later on in this hour. A chance to play some Google Feud. I'll give you a trivia question or so. Eventually, our trivia will also yield some fun prizes, which will be cool. Juice WRLD died 1 year ago today. I don't know much about him as an artist, but I do like that song Come and Go, which is a collaboration that Juice WRLD did with Marshmello. Like, very much into that. And I just discovered it this year. And so I thought that Juice WRLD was still alive. And then the other day would have been a birthday, because I think he was less than 20 years old. I could have that wrong. But apparently today is the 1 year anniversary of Juice WRLD's death. So sadness, but Come and Go is a banger of a song, as the kids say. So you should definitely give that a listen. Okay, so we got a lot of people with us, and I had the worst drop in history. Pretty sure there's someone behind me. Try to get a shield. I see a shield.
We're already inside the next ring.
Still don't see a shield. Alright, here we go.
I bet we'll find something good here. I looted our teammate's banner. I looted our teammate's banner.
Run away, run away. Yeah, we do love coffee for sure. Oh crap, there's been some people here. Oh no, okay, that's closed. I swear, footsteps. I think I'm gonna switch to the Volt if one's available. There it is.
RE45 here.
Alright, what else we got?
Don't drive in position.
Let's see more purple stuff. I'll soon have another stick. It was fun playing Warzone. It had been a while since I'd played Warzone, so look, it's my go. Being here to play some Warzone with me was super cool. Yeah, be sure to check out Monsters and Friends. That podcast is pretty fun.
P2020 here.
Okay, we got it.
Extended snipe. Pop up here. Skull piercer. Oh, I found a vault key. It was almost 2. I bet we'll find something good here.
Let's go get the vault today. Wonder if there's a balloon. I hate having to go past Harvester. Oh. Yikes.
Care package on the way.
Some fighting over Harvester.
Let's see what we have over here.
Oh, nope. Yeah, just keep running away, dude. Crap.
I wonder what they found. Shops open for business.
Oh, no.
Hell of a time to go shopping.
Oh, that didn't work.
Hold on, I need to heal.
I have no freaking shields or nothing.
I need shields. Reloading.
Oh, jeez. Ah, I missed all those shots. Yeah. Nope. We got ruined. There's a bad guy up there. Yeah, we're in bad shape. Good talk. All right, Gaming Morning Show continues 8:13 West Coast time. We've been telling you about Pretend to be a Time Traveler Day. They don't open until 9. Oh, no. So, yeah, Hot Frew's thing was pretty solid, talking about the idea of going to see acts before they were big. In his case, the EDM world, it could go, you know, anything. You could see, you know, the Beatles, as we talked about. You could see the first recording session. That would be kind of cool, right? But that said, we're asking you also, like, what's the best time traveler movie or game? And Hofru brought up Ready Player 2, which isn't necessarily time travel. It's kind of more of like an escapism game, right? You get into the Oasis, you put on the visor, and before you know it, you're transported to a whole different world. So for some reason, Back to the Future is the only one I can think of. I don't even know if that's necessarily the best time traveler movie. Time traveler game, like some of the Assassin's Creed premises are pretty cool. I don't know if that's necessarily time travel per se. What doesn't open until 9? Did I miss something from you? If I did, I'm sorry. It's Gaming Morning Show. Prepared to time travel is our topic of the day. We've talked about like fun football stadiums. Mysterious Monolith. I didn't share this story again. Ooh, Nintendo Nerds giving Time Splitters 2 a nod as the ultimate time travel game. Thanks for being with us, Nintendo. The monoliths have shown up again. This is from KOB TV in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Apparently, a monolith showed up in Albuquerque. This time around, the mayor, Tim Keller, tweeted a photo of it, and it was in Albuquerque. But apparently, a Santa Fe-based art collective is starting to take credit for all of these mysterious monoliths that we're seeing in the variety of places. So they're taking credit for them, including the Utah State Park. Apparently, they were in California. But I am curious about the Romanian one, right? Where'd the Romanian one come from? Was that you, Santa Fe Collective? Again, I think I talked about this in the first hour. I totally get. Oh, this is a bad choice. Shield. Now I just need a weapon. So I totally get that there's a perfectly reasonable explanation for these. But I also think that's what makes it unfun, right? Is you want it to be something kind of crazy. Okay, so we lost one guy. And then the other guy is in the drum.
First blood. That was quick.
I didn't mean to sniff on stream. I was trying not to, but I had to. Okay, I got that. Would like some stuff. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Nice choice. Who got good news?
I gotta drop some stuff. Nope. Just kidding. I don't know what our plan is here. Oh, don't apologize, Hofbrew. I don't mind. I just want to make sure that I don't screw things up, which I think is one of the hardest parts in the stream world, is especially apparently I have a very poor short-term memory unless I'm completely focused. And I don't remember things from moment to moment as well, so I just wanted to do you justice. I wanted to make sure I had your back. Today is a Nintendo Nerds streaming day. Had a lot of fun this morning. I woke up and watched Copia, COP1A, on Twitch, and that was a super fun stream. Does more of a community-focused type stream,
Survey beacon over there.
like we do. More talk as opposed to the gameplay. This is the most gameplay you're going to see out of a Gaming Morning Show stream.
Lovely idea. Setting up shop.
So it was a super fun morning. to something other than this. Where's my teammate? Oh, he disconnected. So now we're just playing by ourselves. Tried. Had to do it by myself. So tune in Nintendo Nerds tonight, 8 o'clock Pacific time on Twitch, and you can watch what was a very fun stream weekend for what it's worth from Nintendo. I did a cool game stream Rocket League on Saturday, which is normally what their focus is on Sundays, and so Sundays switched more to the art world. Super fun. I really enjoyed the whole process. So, I am Ryan. It is Gaming Morning Show, 8:20 West Coast time and 11:20 on the East. If you missed them, Apple releasing some new AirPods, but this time they're AirPods to the max. Here's what I mean by that. I'm gonna throw them in the chat. Apple is going with over-the-ear AirPods. So basically, these kind of headphones. And they're doing so with my word of the day, because it is really hard for me to say. They're using a unique dual neodymium ring magnet motor that allows AirPods Max to maintain total harmonic distortion of less than 1% across an entire audible range. Yikes. Siri needs to help me out with this one. I read this press release from Apple, which is exactly what I linked in the chat. And all I could think of is, this is very Apple. A lot of words to describe some headphones. Which I don't hate. I kind of have a little PR love in my...
A unique dual neodymium ring magnet motor allows AirPods Max to maintain total harmonic distortion of less than 1% across the entire audible range, even at maximum volume. One equipped with an Apple-designed H1 chip in each ear cup, a custom acoustic design, and advanced software.
That's what you get when you throw an Apple press release into a Siri. You get a lot of words. From the canopy to the ear cushions, every part of AirPods Max is carefully crafted to provide exceptional acoustic performance for each user. The breathable knit mesh canopy spanning the headband is made to distribute weight and reduce on-head pressure. You get the point. There's a lot of words. A lot of words. Oh, and someone is Lova. Oh, the sadness. So much sadness. More sadness that I don't have a weapon. There's one. Alright, at least stand a chance now. I even stand more of a chance now. I almost beat him. Nice work. Nice work. Huh, you need me in Rocket League? I don't know if that's actually, I'd probably be alright at that game. I love that you can like kind of bounce up off the walls. It seems a little bit like, oh, they traded. Oh, that's brutal. Please don't do that. No. I'm not doing that with you. So I do kind of like that. So I do kind of like that. That there's different like abilities you can pick up off the ground. It's fast paced, yeah, and the games don't last that long. Like I'm on board for some of those things. And that's what Sean said too. Sean said he plays Rocket League, or he played it before, got platinum in it, and called it a day. When I saw that Octane had blue, I kind of had a feeling I was in a bad spot. This guy was completely unnecessary, but very kind. Oh, he missed. Nice shot. This guy's good. Got a gamer. No complaints. And there was also apparently a George Lucas book out, which I can recap for you. But if you missed this, though, this is worth sharing. This is from our top 10 list today, and it came from nationaldaycalendar.com, which is where we get a lot of our national days of the day. So this is where this idea came from with the time. Pretend you're a time traveler. But these are 9 books that are related to time travel. And so it helps you kind of, quote unquote, unleash the time traveler in you. And they're very much more a serious topic than anything that I presented. Like, unfortunately, no great author of our lifetime has said, you know what? We need to figure out what would have happened if the Denver Broncos had traded for John Elway, and then built a running game and a defense around them. They were much like they were talking about, defeating Nazis and, worthwhile stuff. Oh, behind me. I love the idea of running away. That was a perfect scenario to run away. But unfortunately, this guy's got people on them. Bad timing. We didn't do very well. What's going on? It gives me a chance to tell you about the George Lucas book. So this was the thing that apparently there's a book coming out very much focused on Lucas. I gotta get my right legend too. 8 years after Lucasfilm sold to Disney a deal worth $4 billion, Lucas sitting down. Bye, Hot Brew. Thanks for hanging out with us. Miss you, man. Very, very painful, saying the decision to give up control of the iconic space franchise. Partially, he said, because he did end up picking family over Star Wars, which I completely understand that scenario, especially when you've had a good amount of success already. They did say that this book is called The Star Wars Archives, episodes 1 through 3. So maybe they're making multiple books, because this is author Paul Duncan. There's an excerpt where the filmmaker gets a little honest about his career-defining decision. And I think, yeah, I mean, he had a chance to build this franchise, ended up selling it, had a big payday and all that stuff. And the reality is, like, not being a huge Star Wars fan, and Nintendo certainly, if you are, you're welcome to chime in. But I think as a pretty below average Star Wars fan, like, I don't love the movies. If they're on, I'm not immediately, stopping what I'm doing to watch them. But I don't dislike them. I recognize why many people love them, right? I think the cool thing about them getting purchased by Disney is you now have the chance to do some of the interactive experiences that you wouldn't have otherwise have gotten had Disney not purchased Star Wars. And I think that that's kind of a cool trade-off. You get a chance to experience it a whole different way. And if the stories are never as good as the original one, if that's like the consensus, oh man, this is an oh my gosh, what an unfortunate drop. If the stories are not as good for the rest of Star Wars history, can people live with that? I really think that they probably can. Oh, no, I want that, though. No, I want that. Thank you. It's like, what else did I pick up? Quit dropping that. I want both. Oh, you're talking about expensive coffee table books? Yeah, for sure.
Mama's got a brand new bag.
Yes, and a digital threat on my... Oh, and there was that sitting right there.
R301 here.
Yeah, I'd come get that too. Oh, no.
Don't worry. I like you too much to let you die.
This guy's not going to play with us, is he?
Grenade out. Frag out.
There's someone behind me too. That whole time I thought I was being super sneaky because maybe there was just one. And there was two. And I'm not confident. Oh, no, he might come back for us. Look at that. What a guy. Yeah, so, you know, I get the frustration. And it's got to be tough. I mean, you were arm in arm with that franchise. It is the definition of your, you know, production company. And to let that go, I'm sure was not easy. They're going to be right there. You got this, Octane. Unfortunate. Man, these Apex games have not gone well all day today. I hope your Tuesday, December 8th is treating you well. I am Ryan. Gaming Morning Show continues. I haven't confirmed any interviews for later this week. We've reached out to a few. We'll tell some of those stories if we're not able to have them on sometime later on in the week. We have reached out to some of our friends who have been on the show before, looking at some of like the synopsis end of year type shows or articles where they review some of the best games of the year. So we'll have hopefully some content around that in our final couple of weeks of 2020. I mentioned Juice WRLD died 1 year ago today. If you missed this day in gaming history, which we do at the end of the 6 o'clock hour each morning, today was the day that a new PlayStation 2 was unveiled in Japan. The year 2000 came out for just under $400 US. DVD drivers, a DVD remote control, no memory card. And then this date in 2000 as well, Enix released Dragon Quest III Remix. That was for the Game Boy Color in Japan. 1999, Gran Turismo 2 came out in the US for PlayStation. I've heard a lot of good things about the Gran Turismo series. I've never really spent a lot of time playing it, but I know a lot of people have had some fun with that game. Yeah, it's been a fun morning. All in all, Look, it's Mike O had joined us in the first hour. Talked to him about this time travel topic, which is our topic of the day. I will throw out a chance to answer some trivia questions too, which we can do right now. We will eventually get to the point in the show where we'll play trivia as a way to win some fabulous prizes at the end of the month. Right now, it's all pride. And we had Nintendo give us a good answer to one yesterday. So this is your arts question. Art Spiegelman is best known for his creation of which graphic novel? Art Spiegelman. All right, there's your arts question. It is about art. Let us know in the chat. And eventually we'll get to the point where that wins a fabulous prize. Oh no, there's someone with me. Could be in worse shape. Oh. Damn it. Hopefully they'll get him. That name sounds familiar. Look at you figuring it out. Oh, they're fighting. They're punching up there. Nice work. You're a good person. I appreciate you, Darth Maul. Hopefully I can stay out of the limelight here. Man, that was difficult. I'm also pretty super impressed by that Wraith getting the res off in time.
Hell of a time to go shopping. My favorite kind of loot. The kind that's all mine. Enemy here.
So they're definitely above us or outside. There's one up there too. Wish I had some grenades. I'm just not good enough with that wingman. Oh, he's in here with me? I didn't think he'd be in here with me. Yeah, Darth Maul's done everything that he could possibly do. The pesky champion. So that's correct. It's mouse is the right word. I assume that's how you say that book. M-A-U-S. That Octane has done everything that Octane could possibly do to try to keep us alive in this game. I don't think I'll ever get tired of when Octane uses his little amp up thing, his little finger gun that he puts up on the right hand side. This poor guy needs some heals. Well, yeah, he just, we had an extra squad each time. And I would have tried to save that Wraith earlier, but we were so in the open. And I didn't have any health. You know, again, usually the strategy with my picking Loba is the fact that thank you, Caesar. Is he really gonna get out of there? Oh my gosh, look at this dude. He really would have liked to have hit that second jump pad. He should just, yeah, he should just be faster than them. Man, they are really trying to thirst this dude. I wouldn't even worry about rezzing us there. Oh, I don't know. No. You're a good person, but you're a very good person. All right, I'll give you one more. This is history. During what decade was the first U.S. transcontinental railway completed? I won't be able to throw this one in the chat, but we're asking you, during what decade was the first U.S. transcontinental railroad completed? This has been very eluded, hasn't it? Nope. My Lobask abilities, those. Okay, they're not going to come with me. I'll come back to them.
Let's see what we have over here.
Okay, now they're coming.
Let's go here. Supply bin here. G7 scouts here. Shops open for VIPs only.
Okay, so this. I'd rather have this. And then, since I haven't extended, I'll take this one.
You are coming home with me tonight.
Okay, what? That's not small. Alright, what don't I need?
Sniper stock here. I bet we'll find something good. Standard stock here. Level 1.
The hemlock's not bad. What do I got? I might get the hemlock. I'd rather have hemlock.
We have 45
a barrel stabilizer and a standard stock. It's not bad. Okay. I don't hate the setup. Just need the Loba stick to get some ammo. Ah. Yeah, let's see. History, that was the 1860s. 1860s was the answer. All right, this is going to be our last game of the day. I don't really have gaming morning show, morning gaming news headlines for you this morning because we weren't able to have Sean with us in the first hour. I didn't realize that those kind of lined up that way. That was kind of neat. Yeah, it was really early. Good guess, though. Yeah, this guy's a team player. This big guy. I believe in you. Oh my gosh. Did you see that? Did you all see that? Wow. Pretty sure he's gonna have company. Yeah, there's people coming from the backside. Oh, they're going up top though, so we might be in better shape. I couldn't get off the shots. That guy was amazing. Wow. Whoops, wrong one. All right, let's bring you here. That was super impressive. And that guy deserves all the credit in the world. I put them in a bad situation because I didn't rotate quickly from the harvester. Yeah, he was very Rambo-esque, wasn't he? All right, I'm Ryan. Thanks for being with us, Gaming Morning Show. I will read through the headlines that we have for the morning, and then we're going to wrap it up early. I'm actually going to work on something for the stream. What was it that I wanted to work on? That was my controller! I need a new DualShock. What's going to work on for the stream? There was something I wanted to make. It was with playing Mike O. Oh, yeah. Oof. Since we have a guest host occasionally, options still open, Nintendo. I know you're usually walking the dog in the 8 o'clock hour. I want to make for our Discord screen, so when we're on our 2-host or multiple host screen. Oh, whoops, that's looking at something else now. That's me. So when we're looking at this screen right here, which for some reason I can't remember why. Okay, there we go. So we're looking at the screen here. right? You better make your controllers durable. I remember seeing that one machine that we had found the other day that had the boomerang style handle. If you can't make your controller be thrown and come back to you, are you even trying? But I want to make, much like the mispronunciation counter down here, being able to put a Twitter handle or something down on the bottom. That way, when we do have guests on, we can direct people to the right place. So that is an interest of mine. Ignore my 45 mispronounced words. Oh yeah, absolutely. Let me know. We'll make an arrangement. Mondays and Thursdays are our best days with Sean, and we can go 3-4 wide. In fact, that's kind of my ideal situation. Look, it's Mike O, if you're still listening too. Like, if you want to join us in the 6 o'clock hour, if people are getting up that early, I know Nintendo's Pacific time like we are. You know, that's the ideal situation. We'll split the screen up, you know, going back to that one screen. And instead of this, these will be 2 separate screens. So I get rid of these 2 and see how I have 2 panels there. You can ignore Joe, he was on the show prior. And put those up there. Yeah, we'll figure it out. I just want more people. Being by myself, you know those things that like you can do, but you don't like to do them? Being by myself is just not fun. I can do it. If you need me to do 3 hours of sports talk and, you know, prep it together, am I going to be the best in the world? Absolutely not. Not even close. I'm not even great at the Twitch streaming thing. But what I can do is bring in a whole bunch of people. We can have some fun conversations. I thought it was a pretty solid second hour with Lookins, Mike O, and me. So, yeah, and that's the one thing that was fun. Like Copia, I referenced Copia's stream. A fun streamer on Twitch. Just put the link in the chat. And that was what was fun about Copia's stream. Didn't really have an outline. Just hanging out with a lot of really great people that I've started to watch. Like Kiki Low has taken me down this wormhole of great content from the other side of the ocean. And it's been really fun. So be sure to give Copia a follow. I don't have shoutouts working either, Nintendo, because we're using Restream. So I can't type in something like this and have it do any good because... And it's weird too, like if I even set up this exclamation point command that pops up some stuff on my side, it won't actually get to the Twitch side because I typed in exclamation point GH and it didn't actually carry that through to the other side. It preemptively puts that up instead. So it's a blessing and a curse for the Restream thing. Now I can do this, I think. Let's see. I think lurk is a default command. Are there any? Do you have to turn those on from the get-go? If that's the case, then I don't know. But the downside of doing that now is a lot of times I have to restart my chat. It's a weird glitch. Oh, actually, that worked pretty well. We're figuring out. Yeah, I know your shoutouts hate you, Nintendo. It's the worst. It's the worst when they don't work out. All right. Well, here are the Gaming Morning Show, morning gaming news headlines that I picked out of thin air from the first hour because I was alone and I was sad and I was scared and there were wolves. Cyberpunk 2077 has some widespread bugs that kind of is fitting for that game because Nintendo, I know you've expressed issues with the way that Cyberpunk's been created in the beginning, including transphobic issues, and recently I saw that they had another issue that I cannot remember. I was just reading this yesterday, but that whole thing, I mean, it's probably going to be an amazing game. They're probably going to do some great fixes to the PC and console versions with this first update, but of course, there's some flaws. And then even if you go back to the crunch, you know, that was obviously something that has hampered it as well. Rebirth Island confirmed for Call of Duty Warzone. We talked about that. I originally brought it from a different category, but they had a cinematic trailer for Call of Duty, and that includes bringing in Stitch, who had his eye popped out. That's what it was. Yes, the seizures thing. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, again, it's one of those things where people are still going to play it because the game itself is probably going to be amazing, but it has some baggage with it. And yeah, so they're using a seizure or a light flashing pattern that apparently is very common. Like, it's not just one of those ones that by circumstance can cause seizures. It's apparently a very well-known one that can create issues with seizures. Now, I'm going to kind of stop myself there because I didn't go into enough education to know how to speak on it, but that's a headline I saw. And I think you're right, Nintendo, from a summarizing level, there's been a lot of issues with Cyberpunk. Spyro 4 also seemingly teased in Crash Bandicoot 4. And if you find us on Twitter, we're at WatchGMS, which of course I have my command for that too. I'm Hefty Goof. Oh, and I added a apostrophe. I'm Hefty Goof. Sean is Sports.Gaming. We're WatchGMS. But Spyro, we retweeted this from Spyro Universe. There's the first official hint of Spyro 4 in Crash 4. It's About Time's art book. Yep, yeah, he's just kind of hiding on the bottom in the art book. So, yeah, Sean was talking about that too. We might do a live stream for the Game Awards. It just depends on timing, right? So hopefully we can make it work. We've tried to do our F1 stream, though, the last couple of weeks and haven't been able to make that work. So hopefully we'll have a shot. But, yeah, Sean's morning. My favorite Sean gaming morning show, morning gaming news moments have circulated after the big announcements because he takes copious notes and he sits down and looks at these notes and gets so excited. I said this yesterday. One of my favorite things in life is people who get excited about things they're excited about. Just the fact that there's enthusiasm and wholehearted effort towards something. Oh, I absolutely love it. I'm not watching live. I learned my lesson. Well, and it's tough too because I think I remember either you or someone else saying something to the effect of like the Game Awards are tough because you're pretty much looking at the same games over and over. There's not a lot of space to jump in from the outside, and so I'm going to try to watch it myself too to learn a little bit about that because in all realistic sense, like I'm an infant in this world. Like, I disappeared from gaming. I can talk to you about Tecmo Super Bowl and NFL Game Day and Troy Aikman football and some of the old school sports games. And I played a lot of the platformers from when I was a kid. And I could probably hang with you for Mortal Kombat's 1 through 4. But I kind of just... and then hop back in. Sean brought me back in, and it's definitely the BR world and getting to play with other people that kind of fuels me. This show has been a lot of fun, though, too, and Nintendo, certainly your support has meant a lot to me. So let's call it a day there. I gave you the best iteration of Gaming Morning Show, Morning Gaming Renews that I could possibly give you. And that's about the best I can do this morning. So we will see you again tomorrow, 6 to 9 a.m. Pacific time for more Gaming Morning Show. Of course, you can find us on all of the platforms. Big thanks to everyone who likes on Facebook, who follows on Twitch, who subscribes on YouTube. We certainly appreciate it, and we look forward to hanging out with you again tomorrow. Your favorite morning radio show that plays games. I am Ryan. It's been a lot of fun. Bye, Nintendo. Be sure to check out their stream tonight, 8 o'clock Pacific time. We'll see you tomorrow.